It scared me
So
just being married to somebody that wanted to do it. So what led you down that path? How did you get into yoga and what has it done for you?
great question. So what's really interesting about doing something like infantry, right? So if you're doing something that's super physically intensive, it actually is, I would argue, more mentally intensive. So what I mean by that is you can be in whatever shape you think you're in. Real quick, you'll understand that it's a mental game, meaning without the mental fortitude to continue or the intention to finish or the desire
Mm.
to do what you're doing in training to get to whatever unit battalion that you're trying to be accepted into, you're not going to get very far without that
Well
ability
said.
to mentally get there. um, so with that said, when I finished the military, like many others, very kind of hard-headed type mindset, um, very brute force like mentality. Uh, at the same time, finished with a lot of injuries, like pretty much everyone. Um,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah,
was
it takes
trying
a
to
toll
figure
on your body, I'm sure.
totally, yeah, totally. And I was trying to figure out ways to resolve for that. So I tried the um, uh, well, I'm taking a blank on that. Started the professional route in terms of resolving injuries, physical therapy. Wow, sorry,
Hmm.
drew a blank there. So I was
Okay.
trying physical therapy for a while. It was helping, but not so much. Slowly but surely, I was recognizing that I needed to create more mobility and space in
Hmm.
my body to free up the tensions that I was creating, which was a cause of both psychological tension and also just physical injuries and tension that, was an outcome of military service. Um, and, up front, it was very hard to commit to because uh, it being yoga, because it's such a different dynamic from what I'm used to, right? I'm used to saying, oh, here's a weight or here's a rep count. I'm just
Hmm.
gonna brute force push through. I'm gonna get it. I don't care what anyone says or thinks. Here's a
Yep.
pace, right? Running. Here's a pace. I'm gonna get it. I don't care. With yoga, it's almost the complete opposite, and that challenge was really intriguing to me once I was able to recognize it. And that being said, is mobility doesn't come from brute strength. It comes from breath work. It comes from patience. There's no linearity to it, right? So if you do 10 push-ups for a week, on day 8 or 9, you should expect to be able to do 12. With yoga, with mobility, flexibility, creating space, in your body, there is none of that linearity. I mean, one day you could, for whatever reason, be super mobile, maybe because you slept well. The next day you could feel yourself having half of that mobility in just your right arm versus your
Hmm.
left, or your right leg versus your left. So it's this amazing challenge that really uh, allowed me to dive into it more once I created patience around the concept.
Yeah, it takes a ton of patience. My my path is different, but there's some similarities. Lifelong athlete, very much a brute force type of person. I was unaware, uneducated about how proper body movements should happen, and
Mm,
like the human body is just like the ultimate adaptation machine. Like if you can't
totally.
put your arm above your shoulder, like you just other muscles pick up the slack and figures it out, and other
Totally.
things tighten so that it holds your joint together. And you we walk around ignorant to those compromises we're taking in our body.